episode of Sit and Spin with me, your host, Joe Royland. Apologies for no show last week, but I was kind of caught up in dealing with the death of Prince, a musical icon, legend, idol. I was thinking of doing my own show on it, but instead I contributed to our friends over at Pods and Sods, did a couple of great podcasts on Prince. You can check out Purple Memories Volume 1 on their page, which I was one of many people who contributed to. It was an honor. Thanks, guys, for allowing me to be part of that. But today, though, we are back with one of Prince's contemporaries from the 1980s, and that would be Rick Springfield and his new album, Rocket Science. Rick has been in the game for quite a long time, almost 5 decades now. Started in 1969 as the lead guitarist of the Aussie band Zoot. Went solo in 1971, having his first solo hit with Speak to the Sky, and then moved from Australia to the US in 1972 with his debut album Beginnings on Capitol Records, which was number 14 hit on the Billboard Top 200. And just as he was kind of getting started with that, his music career got a little bit sidelined with allegations of chart manipulation, which kind of sidelined and sunk his career right out of the gate. He tried to overcome that by moving from Capitol Records to Columbia Records in 1973 and releasing the album Comic Book Heroes, great record. But still couldn't quite get his career off the ground as a musician, even with the help of a Saturday morning cartoon show called Mission Magic, which he starred in as well as did all the music for. So he shifted from music to acting as a way to supplant his career. And if you haven't been able to tell by now, yeah, I've been a pretty big Rick Springfield fan all my life. You may not guess it, but it's true. So Rick took up acting, getting bit parts in shows like Battlestar Galactica and Wonder Woman and the Rockford Files, and eventually landing a prime role of Dr. Noah Drake on soap opera General Hospital in the early 80s. And just as his acting career was starting to take off and catch fire, wouldn't you know it, perfect storm of events, his music career finally reignited as well with the 1981 RCA Records debut Working Class Dog, a record that was a top 10 hit and of course spawned the number 1 hit single Jesse's Girl, as well as several other hits off that album. And he followed that up with a number of other top 20 records, and even a couple that landed out just outside of the top 40 through the rest of the decade. And just MTV darling, tons of hits. And kind of that all through the 80s was big star, until 1998 and his release of his album Rock of Life, which just after putting it out, he suffered an ATV incident which kind of sidetracked him once again. He had to recuperate quite a while from that. And as he was recuperating, he realized he just kind of wanted to spend some time being with his family and raising his 2 sons. So aside from some Broadway and Las Vegas musicals, pretty much left the music world behind and just focused on his acting career again. And it wasn't until the 1999 album Karma that Springfield started to releasing quality albums again, including 2 that charted back in the top 50, Venus in Overdrive, which was actually top 30 record in 2008, and Songs from the End of the World, which was a top 50 record in 2012. Both of those records were 2 of the best records of his career, I might add, as well. And now Springfield follows that up with his 18th studio album, 18, Rocket Science, which was released via the Frontier record music label earlier this year. The record was largely written and collaborated with bass player Matt Bissonette, who's also the co-producer of the album, and whose brother Greg you might remember from the David Lee Roth band. Matt also did a little bit of time in DLR's band as well. The album, as you may be able to tell just from listening to it, the last couple of songs, has a decidedly country flavor to it. There's lots of twangy guitars, fiddle, banjo, pedal and lap steel. And Springfield says it's definitely not a country record. It's very much a pop record, but he's just always dug those sounds and thought now is as a perfect time as any to incorporate them into his own sound. Me, I kind of get the feeling maybe he's hedging his bets a little bit, because modern country is one of the forms of music that really continues to sell well, and there's been quite a few other pop stars who've moved over to the country career. I don't think Springfield's gonna do that. He did enlist the help of some Nashville cats for this record. Jay DeMarcus of Rascal Flatts co-wrote the tune you just heard, Down, which we're gonna get to a little bit more in just a minute. And John Jorgensen, noted guitar player, plays a lot of the lap and pedal steel. Some of the other Nashville guys debut on the album. But despite all the country flavorings, the record, Springfield's lost none of his great pop sensibilities because of it. And Rocket Science is just full of great hooky songs that just prove that Rick still knows how to write a good hook. The album kicks off with the appropriately titled Light This Party Up. That's followed by Down, the track you just heard, which is as fine a pop single as Rick Springfield ever done. The track you hear right now is another strong contender. That one, good rockin' killer track. The stomping Miss Mayhem, which was co-written with Holsteady's Tad Kubler, is really good. Mid-tempo Let Me In, the Celtic tinged All Hands on Deck, and the rockin' We Connect are just some of the great moments on this album. And how much you like this record, it's probably going to come down to how much you like or tolerate the country-tinged feeling of it. But regardless, songs are top-notch nonetheless. So Rick Springfield's Rocket Science, out now. Check it out. Maybe you'll really dig it. Maybe you won't dig it as much. I'm on the really digging it part myself, which is why I'm reviewing it on the show. But Rick Springfield, Rocket Science, if you're a fan, check it out. If you're not, hey, maybe there's something new you'll like there. That is the show for this week. Thanks for tuning in once again and sticking around, and we will catch you next time on Sit and Spin. See you then. Take it easy.